All right. So we've got. Oh, that's the wrong week. We've got a practice today. I'm hoping because I have a worksheet ready to go. I would like to actually do something a little different using the online textbook, just because it's instant feedback for you. And for those of you who prefer to kind of work at your own pace, you can kind of go through those and check them as you go and say, oh yeah, I'm on the right track. I'm hoping that works. I'm going to need your help. You guys are my guinea pigs today. All right. I want to see it, but your view is different than my view on the online textbook. And so I'm just going to need a little bit of help and patience from you guys. Because I think if we tap into some of these resources a little bit more, I think you guys will like it, but there might be a little bit of a learning curve to start. Are you guys willing to help me out with that? All right. I'm also going to show you a couple resources that might also be helpful using the online book. So I have worksheet for today. That's if the online resource doesn't work out well. 9-6 day 1 tomorrow, 9-6 day 2 on Wednesday, which is a late start day. Group quiz on Thursday. It's kind of one problem, it's kind of a multi-step problem wrapped into one. And then we'll review for a test, and just the way it falls, it looks like it might be Monday. All right, a chapter test on Monday. So that's this week. And you guys asked to see number 30, it looks like. All right, so you're flying a kite using a 20-foot long string. One-handed, being risky. All right, the angle of elevation from your hands to the kite angle of elevation is 67 degrees. Your hands are 5 feet above the ground. Here's the ground. How far above the ground is the kite? So, did you let's call h the total height above the ground, and let's call y the height in that triangle. We'll call y that blue length within that smaller triangle. Why? Because we only know this angle of elevation in that smaller triangle. So ready? We're at this angle. We're going to use, obviously we're going to use the, what side? Hypotenuse. And the y side, which is the opposite. Is it HO or OH? OH. Yeah, and if you know the mnemonic device, you're thinking, well, it's either SOH, CAH, or TOA. And if I'm using O and H or H and O, that's this one. It's going to be O, then H. That's the decision that tells me to use sine, the sine function. The sine function. So the sine of 67 degrees equals, is it y over 20 or 20 over y? Y over 20, how do I know that? Christian, you willing to explain that? Opposite divided by hypotenuse. Y over 20. And so to solve for y, I just need to multiply both sides by 20. 20 times the sine of 67. 20 times the sine of 67. 18.410. So 18.41. 18.41 feet. But that's not what they asked. They said, how far above the ground? Well, how far is this imaginary line above the ground? 5 feet. So add 5. And you should have gotten that the height of the kite is 23.41 feet. Does that make sense? Right.
Can I use your scissors?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Pencil got smashed. I won't even ask. All right, part B. As the angle of elevation increases, does the height of your kite change at a constant rate? Ooh, that's kind of a tough one. Obviously you checked the answer. Did you understand that? Did you understand the answer? Here's the problem. As the angle of elevation increases, watch. Ready? Here's the angle from my hand to the kite. Angle of elevation increases. Does the height of your kite change at a constant rate? What's it really asking? Are the angle and this side proportional? And I wouldn't expect you to understand this completely. This is kind of a challenging question, all right? Which is good. It's good for a homework question. Are the angle, as the angle increases, and this side changing proportionally? And the answer is no. The answer is no, all right? And here's a quick explanation. Do you agree when we did similar triangles, we did side over side equals side over side, and we set up a proportion, right? Angles and sides are not proportional. That's why we can't do, I'm not trying to mess you up or anything. That's why I can't do like 67 over y and then get a ratio and then multiply by something. We needed a specific trigonometry function to give us the ratio. That's why they were called trig ratios, because they're not changing at a constant rate. They're changing at a trig rate, and you won't really understand that until algebra 2 late, algebra 2 early pre-calc, because they're not linear. These sine, cosine, and tangent functions, they're actually graphs and actually curves. Did we talk about that at all? Quick little explanation. I don't want to get, this stuff's applied all over in life, okay? Whether you care or not, I feel like the people who do care need to give a little bit of an explanation. The amount of daylight, when's the amount of daylight the least during the year? Does anybody know? What date?
Oh, I don't know what the exact date.
December.
Like 22nd or something.
It's around, it's like 21st, 22nd. I always forget. It's like the winter solstice, right? And then what happens? Okay, so the amount of daylight is at the least. Then the good news, as the daylight increases, it doesn't increase at a constant rate. It actually increases pretty quickly. So if you look on Weather Channel, it says, okay, sunrise, sunset, and you check the sunset time, it might be a minute later, and then 2 minutes later, and then 4 minutes later. It changes relatively quickly. It actually changes like this, okay? Each year, it goes like this. It's called a sine function, all right? Sine function. Electricity travels through the walls, through the circuits, and through the wires in a sine function, okay? Have you ever heard of, swap for me? Thank you. Did you need to turn them in? Did you have a swap for them or just?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. What was I saying? Have you heard of voltage like 110 or 220? Okay, that's actually the distance between the height, the peak, and the valley of a sine function that is measured, measures the electricity in the walls. All right, sine function. You're going to learn all about it. And in the same way, the angles and the heights across from those angles don't change at a constant rate. They change as a function. Any other homework questions you'd like to ask about? Okay. 28. All right, find the height of the roller coaster using 2 different methods. All right, McKenna, do you want to share with us what you tried on that one, or were you confused?
I was kind of confused, but I think I used cosine.
Cosine would be good. Yep.
I just couldn't
So did you use cosine? That's good. Did you get the right answer, or is that where you kind of fell apart? Did you get the right answer though? Let's check. 309.7. Yep. So I think I guess what I'm trying to get at is your question. I think maybe your question is, how do I do it the second method? Is that right? Okay. So if she did, do you agree cosine's the correct decision? Because this is the hypotenuse from this angle. This is always the hypotenuse. And this is the adjacent. Adjacent hypotenuse, we're going to use cosine. Now, what's the second method? Well, if this is a 45-degree angle, what's this angle over here? They're always complementary, right? Oh, look, they're the same. 45, because 90 minus 45 is 45. Okay, so let's go over to this angle. From this angle, this side is not the adjacent anymore. This side is the opposite, and this is still the hypotenuse. So we would do the sine of 45 equals x over 438. That'd be the other method, all right, using the sine function. We good? Any questions on the homework? All right, please do me a favor. We're going to go to our online textbook, so take out your laptops. I'm going to show you what I'm trying to get to. I might have just figured it out. All right, now this is kind of where we're going to experiment a little bit. I need your help. I just assigned you, which I just happened to find out of luck. When I hover over this, apparently that's the assign button. It doesn't say it when I hover over it, so I didn't know. So I just assigned it to all my students. I want to see where it pops up. So it might pop up. It's called the 9.4 and 9.5 mini assessment. So check on your home. You have to go through Canvas. You have to click on the VIM app tool. It should redirect you to the online book. Then I think if you scroll down, it's got assignments, but it's not popping up there, is it? If anybody finds it, please share what's going on, what you see on your end. I'm gonna try to do it again and see if there's something else I need to do. All right, I just did it again. Oh, that's district. That's not right. Is anybody seeing it?
Mine's not even moving.
Now here's the other question. If you go to, over here in the table of contents, this is in what's called the dynamic classroom. if someone could try this, there's like, you might see this, and then you have to expand it out, and then go to chapter 9, and I assign them a 9.4 and 9.5. I wonder if they're appearing there for you now.
It's just saying like exploded.
Doesn't have the memory assessment. Go to 9.4.
Is it the self-assessment?
Not that one, no. All right, well, I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like, I'm in mini assessment. I'm clicking on this button. All students. Send. Unless I'm missing something. I'm not seeing it. I mean, don't you guys agree? That'd be like the place.
Yeah.
Flip to all students. Wait, now that's different. It said link sent.
Oh, did you? Wait, hold on. I think is it this thing? Oh yeah, flip.
Okay, yeah. There's like a red bar. Where did you see that, Josh?
I clicked it, but it didn't do it again. I don't know if it came up steady, but I think I just hit continue. Maybe. I had it there originally. I don't know. Is this it though?
Oh, here it is.
I don't know where it's.
Yes. Click on it.
I clicked on it. I don't know where. Maybe it's an assignment now. This is so easy.
15.
So,
Click to signal teacher. I did it. Self-assessment, is it this back here? No,
he said on each side.
It didn't.
this is no, this is like a.
I know, right?
This is literally just.
I just pressed practice.
all right, let's not waste any more time on this.
Plus a little bit.
Oh, it's really efficient. I did.
Oh, is this it? What'd you get? Why did I open Wksht? No, we need it.
All right, I guess one thing I would say before we totally leave this, if you haven't explored it all with the online textbook, I would recommend doing it. If you go into resources, yours is going to look a little different. But when you go into your online book, you should have video examples to do for similar problems in each lesson. So if you're missing a class or reviewing for a quiz and you want to see it worked out again, you don't feel like watching one of my videos, or you'd rather just hear it explained in a different voice, click on one of the video examples and you can see it worked out. That's one of the valuable things about our online textbook. There's a bunch of kind of self-guided checkpoints in there as well if you want to do some quick checks. So check those out. All right, so I'm not going to assign all of this since we took up some of the class time there. So the 9-4, we'll do the 9-4 side, and then the 9-5 side. All right. So on the 9-4 side, which is the side that says 9-4, let's do 2. Three through 5. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 through 6. On the 9-5 side, 1.
I don't know. I'm just writing down the keys right now. Just have it on
All right, 9 is optional. If you want an extra challenge, 9 is optional on the 9-5 side. All right, yeah, the rest of the class to work on that, and then finish it for homework, please.
Right now, he was still talking to himself. Honestly, I don't know that.